First of all, we did number Lamed. We're at number Lamed Aleph in the Makoros D'tzniuta. It's called. So let's go to number Lamed and read down to there so we could pick up the train. It says Amnam. B'hiyosha ha'or shal avira hu gadol ma'od. 1 second, let me put this on. Since this light is tremendously powerful, where are we? He said, "Lakach." Therefore, let me come back here in just 1 second. Lakach husam hakruma de ravira. So therefore, that's the reason why the kruma de ravira is placed there. Shehu masa kamavde bein ha'avira ha'omed lamala. So he gives us up and down. It's up above. The bein mochas dima ha'omed lamala. It's in between the avira and the mochas dima. This is where we're at number Lamed Aleph. So
Well,
he's.
we're way ahead of that.
I'm sorry. Where were we?
Well, no, we're in a different page. I'm in a K. You're still in Avira.
Okay, you're right. I am in the wrong place. I'm in the wrong place. Okay, sorry about that. I have had a little trouble there. Yes. Okay, we are on number Membet instead.
Yeah.
And yesterday we read number Mem Aleph. So number Mem Aleph. Let's start from Mem. He said, "V'hine elu hasa'aros olin lehisbara min amalachim shemesu." So what we're talking about is an aliyah going from the bottom to the top. Shemesa besod or choser umizbarna de b'mochsdimos. That's where they go. So we're on Membet. V'shorish ha'or choser hu b'netzach hod el yonim. So now the light that produces the hairs is coming from the area apparently the Netzach of Hod that are up above it. Al yonim meaning in Atek Yomim. Let's go to number Membet and see what we could do with number Membet. He said, "V'v'kei nira gam kavonis tamei mitzvahs." Is the ki sisa es rosh b'nei Yisrael when he counted zera b'sod chazoras ha'or lamala. So the concept of counting is the concept of bringing the light up from the bottom to the top, b'sod hasa'aros, which is the secret of the hairs. Now, in those words, it's a little bit difficult to see that. He sees a lift up. That's the concept of lifting up. Ki ha-keser atzmecha b'kolo miyud spheres, because the keser itself, it had 10 spheres in it. So Netzach and Hod shabo shehem dinim, there are dinim, v'hine noide shahasa'aros hem dinim elu, shechoizer b'sod or choser. So he says the hairs are dinim. And the dinim, maybe that's why the Chassidim already keep their hair short. He says hen dinim elu shechoizer b'sod or choser, which come back and or choser. Call shar hasfiros calls the man shehem mispashtim hem rachamim yoser. They have more rachamim to them. Of all the dinim, now the dinim which contain, he says, a Netzach and Hod. I'm trying to understand. I understood that he meant the Netzach and Hod of Atek Yomim. He didn't really say that over here. So let me go. Dinim shal Netzach and Hod. Mispashtim mischazek dinim. If they spread, then they make more din. So therefore they don't spread, I guess, downwards. So therefore they go back up. So here's what he's saying. He's saying that the birurim which are coming up are dinim. And as they come up into that area, I don't know what, I'm still confused about Netzach and Hod. Like I say, I assume that they're coming from Atek Yomim, and he's saying that in those locations in the head of Eric Anpen, that's where they're located. And they take the dinim that are coming up and they force them higher. Chozrim la'alos his basim din, and it sweetens up the din as it has to go through the avira. Because be'or pnimi haneknas b'keser. But this is talking about the light that's inside, going inside of the keser. But the zayim malachim that yatsu kodim, they're already been out. So dinim elu, that there's the dinim that we're talking about, they broke and they're full of din. Bisu, because they had no bisum, they died. Mesu. Bisum niskaima, but those that had some sweetening, they're still alive. So therefore, that's why we have to bring them up. That's the reason why they become sweetened as a result of that. Adkan, Ayin Sham. So he says, in conclusion, he said, "V'ritzon alomba the koyach chazaras haor the malachim shemeizuch ubezod sa'aros." So what is this? What was it for? The power of them coming back, of these malachim that died, and now they're coming up and they're coming out through the hairs. Who al yedera be'or choizer shal netzach v'hod. Now he says it like this. He says that the or choser is like it itself is this koach. He says, let me read again. Ratzon lo the koach chazaras haor the malach shemeiser besod sa'aros hu ayedera be'or choser shel netzach and hod. So he's saying the netzach and hod represent like an or choser. Shel or hapanimia bekanser. This is an or choser that comes into that area, which is from cancer, in the cancer. Netzach v'hod shal atik. This is the secret of them. Hamislavshim b'keser, which are clothed inside of the keser. Shal yadam olam esaros, but were choser kabavor l'cholon. Now, so he's explaining that he doesn't say what their nature is. Now, between all of this, we had chesed, gevura, das. We had tiferes. These are all lights that are coming down, being filtered through the seven different aspects of the Golgotha, seven tikkuni of the Golgotha. Over here, though, with this, they're not coming down. They're not coming in that direction, or that's not their purpose. Instead, they're causing them to go back upwards. Okay, so now the next one is number Mem Gimel, and it's in the end. So let's go to read on Mem Bes. Menbet says, Shehem Sod Trin Bayim Shal Reishadolo Isyada, so he explains it out. Hamislam Shem Ba'oznaim Shal Erik Anpin, which are located in the ears. Now this influence, he's saying, has an impact on the Mochas Dimah. So therefore they go out because of the koach of this Or Choser. They go out from the Mochas Dimah, Milamanta Halamala, from the down and below the Ovrim, Derek HaKruma Davira, and they go through the Kruma Davira. V'oilim v'tzomchim Lamala, and they go up and they grow up on top, B'golas Rosh, on the top of the skull of the head. So now we have the concept of Amarnaki. Now I've been learning over there in the Tiv on V'Yavor. And over there in Yavor, he has the concept of Avrayo, because that's what Vavor means. And so one of the things that he talks about is these hair follicles which fall down on the back of Erik Anpin, and they go and they bang against the head of Zer Anpin. And over there's a whole complicated series of different meetings of different kinds of things that produces the beard of Zer Anpin, the other four spheres of Zer Anpin, and now I forget some of the other stuff. But that's part of what comes out of this. So Rei Bishar Mamari Rashbi, Al Idra Zuta, Zel Lashono, the Netzach V'Hod Da'atik Yamim, Nechloch and the base Bechinos. They get divided into two different aspects. Kanoidim. Ki Yesh Netzach V'Hod Timirim V'Hem Trei Beim. So there's this Netzach Hod combo that are hidden. V'Hem Trei Beim, and they are the organs of the Dechura. Shehem Timirim Begavei, which are hidden inside of the Gavur. Now that takes more explanation, I think. They're hidden inside. The Eish Netzach and Hod is Galni V'Hem Treim Yarchin. And then there's another ones, and there's the legs. So you have the gonads, that's the right word. You have the gonads and you have the legs. V'amnam Trei Beim Atimirim, so the gonads, so they get clothed in the two ears of Erik Anpin. Hanir Sifra D'tzniuta b'tikun d'dalad d'gogolta b'shem Amarnaki. Now let me just read this again because I think that it's important. He says the trin bang tamirim, the two that are hidden, they're clothed in the two ears to Erik Anpin. We don't have a problem with that. Hanir Sifra D'tzniuta. So here they're referenced. Betikun Adala de Gogolta B'Shem Amarnaki. So I guess he means to say that that's where we start talking about them. these ones that are hidden. So since they're two gonads, so therefore we're using the word amarnaki. What? They're mentioned haznayim in the language of the amarnaka nizkar. What does he mean here exactly? Does he mean to say that the same thing? Or he said the reason because this is the secret of the hairs that come out of it al gabe udnim, which begin, I guess, up above the ears. Ki sham makom, because that's their place. So he says what? The hairs are up above the ears. Now how do we get to that? We understand the Netzach and Hod, there are always the aspects of all of the dinim. We saw this in the Gemara in Parshas Savi, says, Be'inyan arvinachol, shehem Netzach and Hod. What are the arvinachos? The ravos are lashon din, shehem Netzach and Hod. Is called hagavuras ein sham. Now I'm not familiar with that. Let's go on. So therefore, since this is a source, there's a source of dinim, he says, in Netzach and Hod. So therefore, in Netzach and Hod, which I guess in Netzach and Hod, we always say that the Nai is the lowest part. I'm not sure exactly what's the nature of Netzach and Hod that causes them to be dinim. So that's where the ispashas of the hairs will come. Because we understand, he just said that this is the concept of the dinim and the gevuros. So now we want to know why they're going from the bottom to the top. It's because they come out of Netzach and Hod, which are these bayim that are hidden inside of at the ears of Erikanpin. The Sham is Galam and Somchim. So that's where you see them. In that part, up until that point, they are hidden. So then he says, they go from the bottom to the top, just like through the middle line, that in other words, they're on the sides, the right and left ear. They go through the middle line, which is the which is Tiferes, which is in the Kruma de Ravira, Kul Nikra Vav, which is also called Vav. Now, where does that come from? Vav Aleph Vav is the Gematria 13. The Yotzer B'mena B'malta L'mala L'chutz Al Gabe Hagogolas Ad Kan. So that's his quote. Now, what that Vav meant, I can only think that Vav means the middle line. So he said, let me. I know we're running out of time. He said, it's also called the Vav because it's the Tiferes. That's my answer. The Yotze b'mena b'mata l'mala l'chutz al gabi gogolas ad kan. V'ayin sham yisech b'orech. V'chein hu b'mabu sharim, he says, etc. Ayin sham b'arucha. V'rei gam b'etz chaim. Let's try to find some meat here. V'hinei b'beisa aznaim nechshavim rak l'tikun echad de gogolta. So that the two ears are considered to be one tikkun, below the shnaim and not two. Shabir b'mabasharm, over there it explains, v'zel l'shon of the fisha b'chatiko shahu rachme, ein habeis udnim shalom nechshavet the beis b'chinas rak l'ozin achas. So in terms of what he says in the terms of Eric Anpen, was all rachmim, they're not considered to be two. They're considered to be only oneness. Kamosha Amba Be'idra, the Ridra brings us the list bas smaller behind Tiku Kula Yamina at Khan. V'agav, and on the way, Nitzayim Khan the Divir Sefer Droshim, he said, mover Be'edras Melech, the mashbet the call Tikuni Gogolta Bebechinis or Choser, that's all the concepts, all the Tikunim, or the whole Tikunim are the concept of or Choser. That apparently something in the back of this. Maybe we should go look over there tomorrow.
All right.
Okay, thank you. All the best. Call Tov. That's all I could do.